force system. So up till now, when we say that any force acting on a particular body, so that not only one force acting, but there are many number of forces those are acting on a body simultaneously. So those forces are required to understand, or we can say that is the system of forces or a force system that is applicable on the body, that is required to understand in detailed manner. So let us try to understand it with a chart. So if we take a force system, so there are three main, or you can say a basic category of a force system. In that, number one, that is collinear force system. So we write down collinear. Second is coplanar, and the third one is spatial or non-coplanar. Now in these three system, if we take a collinear system, so here co means the same and the linear, that means along the line. So the forces are acting along a line are known as a collinear forces. And here again a co means same and plane. So the forces are acting along the plane. The meaning of that is whatever the forces are available on the body, those are acting on a single plane. Those type of forces are known as coplanar forces. Opposite to coplanar, spatial forces, that is also known as the non-coplanar forces. That means the forces acting on a body, those are not on a same plane. Now further, if we divide or go with another category, or we can say the subcategories, so that is non-concurrent and concurrent. Non-concurrent and concurrent. So meaning of concurrent forces is, here again co means the same and the current means meeting. So the forces are acting at the same point. So likewise, if this is a point and all the forces available on the body, those are meeting at a single point, or maybe those are propagating from the single point, this type of forces are known as a concurrent forces. Same way, if this is a point and these are the forces, those are not meeting at a single point, so this type of forces are known as non-concurrent forces. So that is applicable in all the cases. So again we also write down that here non-concurrent and concurrent. After that, there are again two divisions in each portal, that is parallel and non-parallel. Here also we can write down parallel, non-parallel. So again a parallel forces, that means forces are acting by maintaining a similar distance to each other, those are parallel, and the forces are not maintaining a similar distance between each other, those are the non-parallel forces. Furthermore, another category in subcategory as a parallel forces, that is like forces and unlike forces. Like forces are those forces that is parallel and acting in a same direction, and the unlike forces are again a parallel but acting in a different directions. So this is all about the force system. So these are the categories. Now if we talk about a particular force system, so if we take this one as well as this one, so this is combination of coplanar concurrent force system, and starting with here this one, and this one. So this system we just known as non-coplanar non-concurrent parallel like system, right? Same way non-coplanar concurrent non-parallel system. Here coplanar non-concurrent parallel unlike system. So based on the categories we have to identify and understand the proper force system. So now we are going to see one by one systems in detail. Now collinear force system is consist of collinear forces. That means the forces are acting on a similar line. Maybe the direction of the forces are different, but if they are acting on a same line of action, so this type of forces are known as collinear forces, and the combination or the system of the forces, that is known as a collinear force system. So this type of example, if you observe the tug of war, so there are many people, those are trying to stretch the road. So if this is a road, and you can observe that there are the people, they are trying to stretch the road in a particular direction. So they are applying a force in a different direction. So this is a one force, this is second force, another force, another force. So forces are applied in different direction, but this is a rope where all the forces are acting on a similar line. So this type of force system is known as a collinear force system. Now second, if we talk coplanar concurrent force system. Now here coplanar as well as the concurrent. So the forces are acting in a single plane, as well as the forces are meeting or propagating from a single point. So this is a point, or we can say we take this is our plane. So this is our x and this is our y. So this is xy plane, and whatever the forces we show here, those are propagating from the one point F1, F2, F3, F4. So these are in the one plane as well as propagating from the one point. So that's why it is known as coplanar concurrent force system. So this type of system generally you observe. If I give you the example of merry-go-round, so there are number of compartments available in that, and in those compartments due to the weight there are forces available. So there are number of forces available in a single plane as well as those are concentrated at a single point. So this is a coplanar concurrent force system. Now furthermore, if we take a third system, that is coplanar non-concurrent force system. So here coplanar is there, but non-concurrent. So second one is concurrent, here this one is non-concurrent. So again I tell you that, so this type of force system that consists of forces acting in a plane because of the coplanar and acting parallel to each other, right? So if we take an example of our train system, so these are the compartments of the train. So there are number of compartments attached with a engine. So now the forces transferred from the wheel to the rail, that is in a single plane because that is in a same line in this direction as well as in this direction. So those are in a single plane and both are parallel, so that means those are not meeting at the same point. So this is called a non-concurrent. So combination of that is a coplanar non-concurrent force system. However, if we take a weight of bogie or the engine that transferred to the track and force transferred to the rail, that we can also say that this force system is a coplanar as well as a parallel system, or you can say that is coplanar, non-concurrent and parallel system, right? So if we move ahead, then system number 4, that is again a coplanar non-concurrent unlike force system. Coplanar non-concurrent unlike force system. So here if we can say that coplanar non-concurrent parallel as well as like system, yes, because this will maintain a same distance, so it is parallel, and that will be in the same direction, so it is like. So you can also add here like as well as you can add parallel, right? Now here if we see that coplanar non-concurrent unlike force system, so in this system So in this system, if we take an example of a simple beam, so this is a simple beam, or we can say this is a particular structure made up to seat the people. So in this, if any person is right now sitting on this, so maybe let us take two persons are sitting here. So due to the weight of that person, there will be a force available in this 2 point, and same way there will be a reaction. So write down, this is P1, this is acting P2, reaction is R1, reaction is R2. So in free body diagram, if I will draw that, so that will be a P1, P2, and here that is R1, R2. Now if you see that P1, P2, R1 and R2, these are the forces. You can say that these are the forces acting in a same plane. So that's why it is a coplanar. It is meeting at the same point? No. So that is non-concurrent forces. It is unlike forces? Yes or no? Yes. If you see that R1 and R2 going in this direction and P1 and P2 going in this direction. You can also add here parallel. Parallel. It is, yes, it is parallel. Right? So again, coplanar, non-concurrent, parallel, unlike force system. So this is a example of that. Next system, that is fifth one, that is coplanar, non-concurrent, coplanar, non-concurrent, non-parallel. Force system. Right? So simply I draw that one 2D plane, and in that plane if you see a number of forces are available in a very haphazard manner. So this is a 2D plane, that's why we can say that this is a coplanar forces. They are not meeting at the same point, so that is non-concurrent system. Or we can say they are also not maintaining a similar distance to each other, so that is non-parallel force system. Okay, so that's why it is coplanar, non-concurrent, non-parallel force system. Now next system is spatial concurrent force system. Now here we can say the spatial system or the non-concurrent force system, right? So this type of force system consists of forces acting in a space but meeting at a point. That means they are applicable to the system in a condition of so in this system the forces acting in a space but meeting at a point. So those type of system is known as a spatial concurrent system. So if we take a very small example of parachute, so parachute is basically joining with a number of ropes, and that is applicable in this form. So this will generate forces on each parachute rope. So there will be a forces in a spatial and concurrent condition. This can you this we can also consider or explain this with a different manner with a cubical system. So if I draw one cube here, now if you take a axis of that particular cube, so this is x, y, and the z axis. So here we observe forces. This is P1, P2, and P3. So these are the three different forces acting along different planes. So if we say that P1 and P2, those are acting along XY plane. P2 and P3, if we take, that is along X and Z plane. If we take P1 and P3, that is along Y and Z plane. So they are acting in a different plane but meeting at a same point, right? So again here if you observe that this is in a round shape, so there are number of forces from different directions. So those are acting in different plane but those are again meeting at a same point. So this type of system is known as a spatial concurrent force system. Now if we go further, system number 7, that is spatial non-concurrent force system. So now in this system, comparing to the previous system is spatial concurrent force system. Now here spatial, that means the forces acting in a different plane, but non-concurrent, that means they are not meeting at a same point. So if we take an example of any building, and out of that if we take a number of column below that particular building, so that columns are basically to transfer the forces that is coming from the above structure of this building. So maybe you can consider the reaction or the forces at this column end. So these are the forces acting in different plane, as well as they are not meeting at the same point. They are also parallel but not meeting at the same point. So that's why it is known as spatial non-concurrent force system. And this is an example of that. You can also understand with Cartesian system that we taken in a previous system. So this is a Cartesian system with x, y, and z coordinate. Now simply I put the number of forces. So this force is, let us say, P2 force. Here that is P3 force. Here you take P1 force. Here you take P4. So there are again a number of forces applicable in different plane, but they are not meeting at a same plane, sorry, same point. So that's why this is a best suitable example of spatial non-concurrent force system. Next system, if we go with spatial non-concurrent unlike force system. Now in this system, comparing to the previous system, one word unlike is added. So in this system, forces are acting in a space. They are also parallel but in different direction. So here we take example with a Cartesian system. So again we have a x, y and a z coordinate system. So spatial forces are there, non-concurrent is there, and unlike. So if you take forces like this, P1, P2, P3 and P4. So if we take the forces, they are acting in a different plane. So yes, those are acting. They are non-concurrent. Yes, those are not meeting at the same point. And those are unlike. That means those are acting opposite to each other. These two forces are going upwards and these two forces are going downwards. If I want to write down here a like forces, so I just write down, or I just turn this force in upward direction, right? So that is spatial non-concurrent like force system. So this is the example of spatial non-concurrent unlike force system. Further we move ahead with last system, so that is number 9, that is spatial non-concurrent spatial non-concurrent non-parallel. So in non-parallel means the forces are not maintaining a similar distance between them. So in this spatial non-concurrent non-parallel force system, so very simple example is the vehicle that are passing on our road in a different direction. So we can say that system is our spatial non-concurrent non-parallel system. So here we understand this system with a Cartesian system. So spatial, that means the forces are in different plane, not meeting at the same point, and also a non-parallel. Here those are the parallel forces, but here we can take a non-parallel forces. So again this force is P1, again you take in this direction, that is P2, here in this direction that is P2, and here this is P3 and P2, right? So random organization of the forces, not maintaining the same direction, also not available in a same plane. So spatial, that means in different planes. Non-concurrent, so they are not meeting at a same point because direction is different, not maintaining the similar distance between them, and also available in a different plane. And non-parallel, right? So they are not maintaining a same distance. That's why it is non-parallel. So this is the example of spatial non-concurrent non-parallel force system. So this is the example of spatial non-concurrent non-parallel force system. So basically, if we talk about a force system, so that is important to understand. So how the forces are acting on a body, we can understand that. So that will be easy for us to analyze them in a particular way. So this is all about force system.